We are here at my workbench again, and the story for tonight is the secret behind the success of AudioNote. I think many of you are familiar with AudioNote or heard about it. If you are new to the audiophile world, then and you haven't heard about AudioNote, it's something of a really major milestone in an audiophile's landscape, and it's largely mysterious because very few people have ever heard AudioNote, and even fewer have heard AudioNote systems properly set up. So most who were exposed to it heard about maybe 5% of their potential or even less. And I would like to tell you more about it because at the very beginning of my audio journey, I heard properly set up AudioNote systems, and that was what inspired me to go on my audio journey, and not just as a consumer just blundering blindly, but to build equipment. So before AudioNote, I was just like any of you, any of us, just like in a wonderland, a kid looking for the candies and the magic candy house, and all my desires about audio was just to have enough money to buy a really good system that's like a good audiophile system, and I thought that's the ultimate thing until I heard AudioNote, and it was at a high-end show, and literally the two AudioNote rooms absolutely destroyed the entire show. Nothing came even in the ballpark. It was like if you go, for example, to a children's recital, then children are reciting their performances, like a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old, like playing guitar for a year and trying to pluck a few chords or playing a few notes on a flute, and then you have this lineup, and then suddenly someone walking up the stage and he plays guitar or plays like a Mendelssohn violin concert or something like that. The difference was that staggering, and then I just had the desire born in me that I want to build equipment like that, and that I want to find a sensei, a teacher, a mentor, just like Kondo-san, the Japanese sensei who created the ongaku, which was my muse. And eventually I succeeded. I found my mentor, and I managed to be his apprentice for well over a decade, learning thousands and thousands of hours from him. And yep, that's about it. So now let's look into AudioNote, and I'm telling you about this partially because I was looking at on my channel. Let's just look at these things, and let's just show my channel. And I'm doing this because during the past few days I had a tremendous surge in viewers who viewed my channel, and I think this is largely due to Stereopolis's really kind contribution. He mentioned my channel in his one of his videos as a recommended channel, and there's also Nick, and he said that he posted on his forum my channel, and after he emailed that to me in one of his comments, I noticed again a huge surge of hits in my videos. And here I just want to show you that that's the homepage of my channel, and when you go there, there's one thing that says playlist, and on the playlist, when you go, there's recommendations, and when you look at recommendations, I have let's see, right here, those two videos. So as you see, this was Kartik Ramanathan's channel, and he features a series of master classes, and he invites audio manufacturers, designers, engineers who are basically creating high-end for us, and he's picking their brains. Here in this video, Peter Quattrup, he is basically Audionaut, or Audionaut UK as we used to call it, and he is telling his life story, how he got into audio, how things developed, and how he got his ideas. And I found this video, and this is let me see, because of Real Hi-Fi Help. That's another channel, and when I have that also linked here right next to the other video, so where Real Hi-Fi Help gives his commentaries to that masterclass video. So if you want to check it out with the commentaries, go for the Real Hi-Fi Help version. He put it in 3 parts, so that's part 1 that's linked there. And if you want to check out the uncommented version, I have that one there as well. And I like to say this and emphasize this, because this is the part when you change from being a baby audiophile and becoming a mature audiophile. So as baby audiophiles, we are in the wonderland. We are just binging on reviews about systems, and that's kind of okay, because you get your inspiration, you get your muses from there. But it's like eating fish. It's not teaching you how to catch fish. So you will just end up being like wasting away if you are stuck at the review channel level. You have to step up and go into looking for information and knowledge, learning how to fish. Because when you just read about reviews, then they will tell you what they think about equipment, but you are not going to see the bigger picture. You are not going to access their life experience, because they are just showing you a snapshot, and they're not telling you how they got to that point. Maybe if you watch, like, for example, let's see, what do we have here? Let's go back. I have a few channel recommendations here. Where is it? Of course I cannot find it now. But anyway, so if you look at review channels and you binge on them, after a while you will glean a little bit of knowledge, but you will go with baby steps. You need to check out the master classes to start absorbing information in quantities that will help you grow, to help you grow your audio muscles to be able to step to the next level. So that being said, I'm also adding that my channel is dedicated to give you this audio education. So when you want more than just binging on reviews, I give you the knowledge so that you can step up and go to enter a new phase in your audiophile life. And that being said, now I'm going to that part about Audionaut. So what is the success behind Audionaut? So here Peter is talking about it, and Real Hi-Fi Help does add a lot of his insights on it, what is really key about that. And I'm going to give you now the bigger picture of audio note success is when you are like an old timer in the audiophile world and you have heard everything, then you know that there is a level of audio which is represented by really good horn speakers and really good single-ended amplifiers. And when you hear that, you will be just totally blown away. And the most die-hard solid-state fans who want extreme frequency extensions, 5 kilowatts of power, they only consider low efficiency speakers. They hate horns. When they hear a properly set up horn system, they are themselves blown away and say, this is much better than I ever imagined sound can be. And this is happening. I would say this has started to happen in the past 10 years or so, 15 years, 20 years. It has been happening earlier than that. There were always Altec and Western Electric fans who kept this kind of sound alive, but it was really something really elusive and really unusual, and started to get more of a ground in the past 10 years or so. And I would say this is a tendency that is starting now. It's starting to grow for the past 10 years and influencing those audiophiles who have been audiophiles for 10, 20 years or more. They have tried out everything and they think this is the last frontier. That's the last step up. And going back to Peter, this has experience that we are experiencing now has happened to him in the 70s, 80s. And based on that experience, he started audio note. And he was going for that sound. So he has like a 40-year advantage compared to the rest of the high-end audio industry. So he started with a tremendous head start. That's why audio note sound is so different from anything else that you experience in the high-end audio world. And basically what Peter was saying is that he heard Western Electric speakers from the 30s driven by single-ended tube amplifiers. Actually, he hooked up the Ongaku to Western Electric horns, and he said that was just way beyond anything that the best high end of his age could reproduce. And he wanted to build speakers that gave you that sort of experience, because like a full-blown Western Electric horn is just huge and it's not really feasible to have in your home. And he found, actually he created the A&E speakers, which give that type of Western Electric sound, and repackage it into a smaller scale that you can fit in your living room. And of course it has a different sound, but it gives you an echo of that tonality that the Western Electric horns produce. And so that's at the core of audio note success, is that he was exposed to something truly unusual, the best speaker system that was developed in the 30s, and he took a leap that the rest of the audio world largely did not take. We went into a very different direction. So when you look at audio gear, Then today it's like we are looking at a coin. Let's see, let's find you something that looks like a coin. I take you, this is a coin, this razor, and this is what the audiophile world is thinking, that that's the entire audio truth. It's resolution. However, when you flip the coin, the other side says tonality. And to have a realistic picture representation of sound, of music, you need not just resolution but tonality as well. And Peter Audionaut dedicated itself to reproduce both resolution and tonality. And on the other hand, the rest of the audio world, and mainly this was led by the US high-end scene, they dedicated themselves entirely to resolution. And during the past 20 years especially, the whole audio world turned into a massive hunt after resolution. And that yielded the massive decline of tonality. And unfortunately, that's true for the vast majority of sound systems out there, and is also the main reason why musicians really refrain and stay away from high-end products, because they have absurdly abysmal tonality. And of course, most of the audiophiles, they say that, oh, musicians do not have expensive audiophile gear because they cannot afford it. And there's some truth in that. But it's not entirely true. I have musician friends who have audiophile systems, who have really nice audiophile systems. But vastly, the reason behind musicians abstaining from high-end audio is because of the atrocious tonality. It doesn't sound like music. So we became obsessed with sound, with the superficiality so much that we are sacrificing musicality. And that's true for most of those brands, most of those audio brands, which on the review channels are reviewed as the best. And when you look for the best speaker, the best amp, you're going to see those. Audionaut did not go that way. They wanted to look for something that has both tonality and resolution. And when you show that, then you will not have as much resolution as you would get from a system that specializes only in resolution, and then you get this shoved in your face. In Audionaut's case, you are going to see something like that. It doesn't poke out your eyes, doesn't overflow your senses, but it will create you a palpable, tactile experience. So that was one point, the speaker system. So you need properly built speakers to be able to deliver both tonality and resolution. The other part is amplification. And for amplifiers, whatever you watch online, they always tell you go for a more complicated amp, higher power is better, more complicated better. If it's tubes, you're gonna have at least 20 tubes in it, da da da. And I would say that there are two roads. You can take any of them as a designer. And one road, this one, it leads to complexity. So it's a lot of complexity. So when you employ lots of parts in the circuitry, lots of loops, lots of amplifying elements, lots of resistive elements, capacitors, inductors, transformers, then you placing more and more control over the sound. And the other road is simplicity. And with simplicity, you get a very pure sound, because the amount of elements you add into your amplifier, each of them is going to affect sound quality. And if you add fewer elements, then there's less that is affecting sound quality, and at the same time each of them have a much more prominent role. So if you have a single-ended tube amplifier, and let's say a very low power one, maybe like 2 watts only, if you change there a single resistor or a single piece of wire, you are going to hear a big change in the sound of the amplifier. If you take a complex amplifier, you change there a resistor to another brand of resistor, or change a piece of wire to another piece of wire, you are probably not going to hear anything. You have to change a lot of things. You possibly have to change the circuitry itself to have any sort of difference. And today we think, or that's the knowledge that's implanted to everyone, that you need complexity. And of course, complexity requires tremendous funds and a lot of money. And simplicity in itself, it is possible to do at a much more cost-effective way. But there is no hiding when you go for simple. If you go for a really complex amplifier, then it's easy to hide even big flaws. If you add like a couple negative feedback loops, you can mask even grave problems in the amplifier. When you use a simple solution, everything has to be spot on. And for all of us who want to develop complex systems, first develop a simplified version, and when there are no problems, no faults with it, then complicate it. And then you will be able to create a successful design. But if you start with a complex design, then there's a really, really high chance that you are going to run into major problems. So right now I'm not going to get into amplifier design anymore or any deeper. Let's leave it to another time. And thank you for staying with me, and I hope you like this channel, and stay tuned, and I will show lots of additional and interesting things for you. Thank you. Please, if you like this video and like my content, then hit the like button. If you do not, then YouTube will not feature my channel in searches. Only if I'm recommended to someone and you are specifically looking for it, will you find it. YouTube does not want to showcase those channels which are not monetized. My channel is not monetized. I'm not getting a penny from my videos. I do not have sponsors behind me. I do this to educate everyone. So if you hit like, you are helping yourself, because it's helping you and your fellow audiophiles to find these videos. Thank you. Bye bye.